Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton? We're going to talk about that when we come back. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant. I've pretty much stayed away from this whole Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton thing, and there were a number of rants that I've posted that had to deal with Donald Trump and how, I think regarding his attempt to become the president is now at the forefront of this presidential election. People are finally starting to take this whole Donald Trump thing serious, as opposed to when it first started, everyone thought he was a joke. And now that, we are close to where we need to be regarding the election, Donald Trump is a force. So I've talked about it a lot. However, I've negated to kind of talk about this whole Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders thing. And mainly because I think from a personal perspective, I'm not sure which way I want to go. I do know that personally, I probably will not vote for Hillary Clinton. I think there's some things that she has done in her past that I'm not really comfortable with. There's some things that the Clintons have done that I'm not really comfortable with. My number one pet peeve is this whole mass incarceration piece that I've talked about a lot. In fact, I've produced a video on mass incarceration, and regarding that part of it, the Clintons, especially Bill Clinton, has been a key person in terms of creating this whole mass incarceration thing. And I'm not taking the blame off of the people who have committed the crimes and the things that they've done, but in terms of the legislative piece, in terms of the bills that have been signed, in terms of his wanting to get, or his stance on wanting to get tougher on crime back when he was the president, created this whole mass incarceration piece. And if you read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, there are some sections in there that talk about that. So if you get an opportunity, please do. And there's no endorsement for the book, but I'm just saying it's just that some things in there kind of talked about that. And she, in fact, on Facebook a few days ago, posted some things regarding that. Also, the fact that Hillary, on the undercover tip, is taking money from the lobbyists for people who are involved in these private prisons. And, she doesn't want to talk about that. And she knows what folks' stance is on that. And it's a little different than what Bernie Sanders says. He also says that he's not taking money from the lobbyists, from people who are involved in private prisons. But I don't know. I kind of questioned that. And then getting to Bernie Sanders, there's just something about him, from my perspective, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't set right. He's making a whole lot of promises in terms of how he wants to change the way government is being run. His claim of not accepting money from the powers to be and not getting in bed with Wall Street. I'm kind of skeptical on that, because I believe that no matter who the president is, you're going to have to get involved in getting in bed with Wall Street, because Wall Street runs the country. Fortune 500 companies run the country. And if folks are really not savvy enough to really understand that, then you need to believe that. So this whole bit about, Bernie saying he's not taking money from, the Fortune 500, and he's getting his money from the people in terms of him being able to run his campaign. I hear you. Obama said the same thing. But, and he's been in there for 8 years, and trust and believe Wall Street has been in his head, and he has done things to take care of them. Just like if Bernie wins, he's going to do things to kind of take care of them himself. And so I'm at a quandary with this whole presidential election on the Democratic side and on the Republican side. It's just kind of ridiculous to me as to the circus that has been created around this whole thing. I think there has been so much accentuated about the many kind of underhanded, underlining things that are happening with Hillary and Bernie in terms of the email situation and, what people do in their personal life and the personal attacks back and forth. All that has been accentuated by the press. And, we kind of dibble and dab and dip into like the real issues. And for me, yeah, I understand foreign policy, I understand the economy, I understand the abortion rights issue, I understand all those serious issues. But for me, no politician has really talked about, what they are going to do for poor people. No politician has talked about what they're going to do to solve the violence that occur in our neighborhoods on a daily basis. No politician has talked about how they are going to come in and give people an opportunity to get jobs or even develop jobs within the United States that's going to give people an opportunity to get a substantial, a sustainable wage in order for them to be able to take care of their families so that we too can live this quote unquote American dream like everybody else. Nobody's really, kind of talk about that from a specific standpoint. They're all talking all the surface kind of stuff, but when it comes down to my vote, you gotta make me feel good about something that you're going to do for me and my people. And nobody is really talking about what you going to do for me and my people. Why? Because they're afraid to talk about that, especially when you talk about doing things that's going to enhance the livelihoods of African Americans, because as soon as you do that, then you're going to alienate your big business buddies, and you certainly don't want to do that. So you're going to keep your mouth shut about that. And when you do become the president of these United States, you're still not going to do anything to tickle my fancy when it comes to doing things that, are going to be better for me and my people. So why should I give you my vote? You want to throw a couple of black faces up there, and you want to get the endorsements of some famous people to weigh me or persuade me to kind of vote for you. But that don't really do nothing for me. And so to that tune, I'm not sure about Hillary. I'm not sure about Bernie. I don't know where we're going with this. We'll see what happens. But at this point, I don't even know, if I'll vote for either one of them. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant.